You're now listening to the Engage the Rockies podcast, your go-to podcast for local and state issues concerning Colorado.
Hello, Colorado. This is your Engage the Rockies week in review for the week of November 11th to the 15th. If you'd like the show notes with links to the stories we're covering today, please visit engagetherockies.com and sign up to our email. Every Monday, we'll send you the list of articles we covered on our Friday episode. We're going to go a little out of order and start with some breaking news that made national news related to El Paso County. Federal prosecutors last week indicted 3 people on charges of staging a hate crime involving the N-word and a burning cross to help left-wing candidate get elected mayor of Colorado Springs. Prosecutors say Derek Bernard, Ashley Blackcloud, and Deanna West, who were affiliated with a self-styled, quote, minority-owned independent broadcasting and multimedia organization, wrote the racial slur on a campaign sign for Black candidate Yemi Mobolade, erected and ignited a cross in front of it, photographed it, and sent it to the media in order to boost Mobolade's candidacy. The hoax came after Mobolade and Wayne Williams, a white Republican, nearly tied in an April 2023 election, triggering a runoff election the following month. Public opinion changed significantly before the runoff, with local news calling it a, quote, stunning turn of events, end quote, that Mobolade won with 58%. He is now mayor of Colorado's second largest city. After Mobolade won the runoff election, Bernard allegedly texted him saying, quote, "We got you through it all, brother," end quote. He texted Blackcloud suggesting he expected favors from Mobolade, sending a link to city job openings and saying, "I want favors quicker than later." A day after the first election, Bernard wrote to Blackcloud, quote, "I'ma just talk to you about a few plans," end quote, then texted candidate Mobolade on April 13th to say, "I spoke with some of my friends in other places and there's a plot amiss," according to the indictment. Bernard allegedly texted Blackcloud that, quote, "They ain't trying to let an African win," end quote, "but I got a plan." Early in the morning on April 23rd, the trio allegedly staged the hate crime and emailed photographs to Mobolade and media outlets from an anonymous email address. The email attempted to use the fake hate crime to turn out Black voters, writing that the, quote, target of any one hate crime is not just the direct victim, but also anyone who shares the victim's targeted identity, end quote. At 7:30 p.m. that same night, Bernard texted Mobolade, "I guarantee the finish," referring to a message saying he needed support to get to the finish line of his campaign, the indictment says. On April 25th, Bernard texted Mobolade, quote, "Brothers, some foul stuff came up in our email," end quote. The next day, he spoke with him on the phone for 5 minutes, the indictment notes. The media bit on the story, KDVR wrote, "In the midst of the tight race, racially charged messaging has surfaced seemingly targeting the West African immigrant." It quoted an NAACP official, Rashad Younger, saying that the NAACP spoke to Mobolade's campaign, which said it was assuming this is a hoax, but that the NAACP was treating it as real. Anyway, Angela Stevens, the president of the Colorado Springs NAACP, said, quote, "We are looking at this as voter intimidation. Do we believe that it's a hoax? Personally, we do not," end quote. The Daily Wire asked a spokeswoman for Mayor Mobolade whether he was aware of the scheme, what he thought Bernard was referring to when he said he had a plot amiss, and why he thought Bernard guaranteed his victory, what they spoke about on the phone, why his campaign indicated to the NAACP that it was a hoax, why Bernard would think he was owed favors by Mobolade, and whether he sought or was given any. Colorado Springs spokeswoman Vanessa Zink replied with a statement from Mobolade, quote, "That incident during my campaign led to a very traumatic time for my family, my campaign team, and our community. My knowledge and interaction with Brevard was a local media personality, and I was not aware at the time that he was suspected of this crime. I appreciate local and federal law enforcement's work in pursuing justice and sending a message that we will not tolerate such reprehensible behavior." End quote. The trio is charged with making false statements and threats using interstate commerce, having used the internet to make searches like, quote, "contact news about a story," KKK email, and candidates' racist acts during campaign. Since allegedly staging the fake hate crime, Bernard was sentenced to life in prison for an unrelated murder in Texas. West is a fugitive, while Black Cloud is in custody. Now back to from around the state. The petition to the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Commission to delay the next round of wolf introductions isn't going anywhere, not anytime soon. The agency's process allows staffers to make a recommendation on whether the rules change sought in the petition should go forward, and that could take months. The petition was initiated in the Middle Park stock growers and supported by 25 other largely livestock groups. Colorado Counties, Inc., which counts 63 out of 64 counties as its members, also submitted a letter seeking a delay. Tim Richard, president of the Middle Park stock growers and who spoke on behalf of the petitioners, told commissioners the wolf introduction program has not gone well and noted 24 confirmed depredations in 3 counties and many more deaths and missing livestock, also believed to be the result of wolf attacks. CPW has already spent more than $5 million on the wolf's introduction program, although the General Assembly's Blue Book in 2020 said it would cost approximately $300,000 in 2021 to 2022, $500,000 in 2022 to 2023, and $800,000 per year starting in 2023 to 2024. The total in those 3 years would be $1.6 million, the legislature's estimates said. And coming back to some late-breaking El Paso County news. An especially tight race for Colorado House District 16, which came down to a mere 7-vote difference on Thursday, has qualified for an automatic recount, El Paso County Clerk and Recorder Steve Schleicher announced. Final unofficial election results updated by Schleicher's office at 8:23 p.m. show Republican challenger Rebecca Kelty, a Navy veteran, with a narrow 50.01% to 49.99% lead over Democratic incumbent Stephanie Vigil, who has served as the district's representative for the last 2 years. There's a difference of only 7 votes in the race, 20,640 for Kelty and 20,633 for Vigil. Colorado law requires automatic recounts if the margin of victory in a race is equal to or less than 0.5% of the winner's total. Automatic recounts must be completed within 31 days after the election. Races will not be officially called until the Canvass Board certifies the original vote count on November 27th. Recounts will then occur for qualifying contests. In total, 387,297 ballots have been counted for just under 78% voter turnout, according to Clerk's data. Those are your top stories for the week of November 11th to the 15th. Please tune in each Friday for your week in review from Engage the Rockies. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe for more great content. If you'd like the full articles from the stories we read today, sign up to our email list at engagetherockies.com and we'll send you our show notes each week. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Engage the Rockies podcast, your go-to podcast for local and state issues concerning Colorado.